I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, not bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Stadium packed.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't been producing much content lately. It's just been a hell of a year with everything going on. Also, you know, up here in Minnesota, it has been extremely cold, close to -15, -20 on a lot of days. So it kind of takes all the fun out of it. And believe it or not, we're going to be doing some mods today to the Camaro that are going to be helping with underhood temps. It's hard to believe when you look at weather like this that we're worried about underhood temps, but we are planning for the spring. I cannot wait till it gets here. We get some warmer weather, be able to actually enjoy the Camaro. So I'm gonna take you guys in, show you what I do on the car and how I am installing the Trac Spec hood louvers, and we're gonna go from there. So like I said, guys, it is a little hard to think about hot riding right now. The old girl's in hibernation right now, so we're gonna go ahead and get busy on some of the mods. We've been a little slow on some upgrades this winter with everything going on. It's just been a heck of a year. You know, I lost my dad, so I've been in a bit of a funk, so I'm trying to break out of that. And we're gonna go and work with our hands, put our phones down, put the depressing electronics down, and we're gonna get busy on the old Camaro, get her ready for the season. So we're gonna go through and we're gonna install the Trac Spec hood louvers. These things are really sweet, man. I'm really digging them. Because after last year, I finally got AC back in the car. So once I got the AC back in the middle of the summer, when we were idling in stop and go traffic, my temps were creeping up. It was also, you know, getting close to 230 or so, which is just too hot for comfort. So, and I do have the dual spa electric fans up front, and those things move some serious air, so I don't think that's an issue is the fans or the airflow. I think the issue is just these third gens with the underhood insulation on. They just have high under the hood temps just because how big this hood is and the way everything's designed to come out the bottom. So once we get these Trac Specs installed, that should help drastically lower the underhood temps. So I'm gonna go through and show you guys how I actually installed these. The instructions are a bit vague, which is no surprise. Most of them are. So I'm gonna go through and show you some of the tricks that's helped me along the way and how I did it. Okay guys, real quick too before we jump right in, if you haven't done so already, do me one big favor, hit that like button, help this video on the YouTube algorithm, help the channel. I appreciate all the support, guys. It means a big deal to me. But no, seriously, go hit that like button. Okay guys, so the tools are pretty basic for this install. What we're gonna need is just some blue painter's tape, a tape measure, a cordless drill, 1/8 drill bit, a rivet gun, either a cutoff wheel or jigsaw, and some kind of metal file. That's basically all you really need to get this job done. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and start with pulling the stock louvers off of the car. I already installed one of the Trac Specs. I'm gonna wait to the end to show you guys what it looks like. Man, it did turn out good though. So we're gonna pull off the stock hood louvers in the car with either a 11mm or 7/16 socket, get those pulled off, clean up the area, and we're gonna get busy on mapping out the template that came with the Trac Spec hood louvers, and then we'll get busy. Okay guys, now that we got the stock Iroc hood louvers off, we're gonna go ahead and get busy marking the template exactly where we need it before we tape it down and get ready for the cut. As you can see, here is what the finished product's gonna look like. Man, I am pretty happy about this upgrade. It looks sick. Also, you know, these are the poser ones. These are actually functional. You're gonna have great improvement on heat extraction. Also, is front end downforce, I'm thinking. And also, they just look cool. I mean, look at it. So that's the finished product we're going for, but I'm gonna show you guys how I did it on that side. I definitely wanted to get one side done first before I go out there and show people in case I did do something wrong. I also wanted to make sure if I make any mistakes that I'm not giving people bad info. So we're gonna get busy on marking the template on this one. Like I said, the instructions are a little bit vague and confusing, but I'm gonna go through and just show you how I got mine done, and it did turn out quite well. Okay guys, so on the instructions, what it's saying is right here, if you look really closely, you can see the factory indent in the hood. And what we're gonna do is lay our template so it's just behind it into the flat recessed area on this little dimple. So we're gonna mark it up, make sure that it's just barely laying flat on that indent recess right there, and then get it taped down in the front. What you can do is use a piece of blue painter's tape to help define this line a little bit better, because it is kind of hard with all the clear coat and the reflections to see it. So I'm gonna use a piece of painter's tape to define that line and go ahead, mark that out, and then we'll get the stencil inset and go from there. Okay, now that we got that line defined right there, we're gonna go ahead and take our stencil. They are labeled on the inside, and what we're gonna do is just kind of bring that up just so it barely starts touching that line right there. We're gonna make sure it is centered in the whole thing. We're gonna go ahead and check that line along here. Also the lines along the curve, and also in the back. You wanna make sure that it's sitting flat in this recess too. You don't want it up on the curve up. You want it completely flat down in the base so that it will lay flush. That is very important right there. It's basically getting it centered side to side. Make sure it's laying flat up there, and also laying nice and flat up onto that too. Okay, now that you're happy with the placement, the lines look good all there. I walked around, I eyed it from both sides, both backs. Everything looks matching really well. Like I said, if you want to take a tape measure, I just don't want to risk scratching my paint right there. You can measure the fronts in and out, and then we're gonna go ahead, and if you see and you look really closely right here, these dashed lines, that's what we're gonna be cutting along. So what we're gonna do is take the painter's tape and run it all on the inside of these dashed lines all the way around. Keep the stencil in place while you're cutting, and then that's how we'll know where to cut. So we're gonna go ahead, get that taped in. I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, we got it all taped up. I did one extra layer of tape on the sides just to protect the paint in case anything goes sideways. And as you can see, I don't know if this camera is picking up or not, but these are the dash lines. And basically what you're doing is just going right on the outside of that dash line with the tape the whole way. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of cut right along the tape. And this is where we get into the sketchy part, cutting up a perfectly good hood. But are you even hot rodding if you're not cutting up a perfectly good? I don't know, let me know in the comments. So we're gonna go through and get this bad boy cut out. And we're gonna definitely wanna put a lot of protection on the paint, cover everything up. I'm gonna go through, cover underneath the engine, cover all that up, and we're gonna put a lot of protection in place before we go through and start cutting. Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and get the sketchy part over with, cut out the piece. We got everything protected, the paint protected. We're gonna go ahead and just cut along that dash line right there on the stencil, basically on the inside of the blue tape all the way around. And if you're ever doing cutting, it's probably a good idea to have a fire extinguisher handy in case things go sideways. We're gonna go ahead and get this sketchy part over with, and then we're gonna go from there. Okay guys, we got the hole cut. That will definitely get your heart pumping a little bit, cutting up your hood. And I forgot to mention too, on the instructions, it did say that you could pre-drill out all the slots. Like I said, read your instructions. This isn't really a how-to, this is how I did it. And then also you can drill out each corner with the drill bit to help connecting the corners a little bit easier. I just used my little body sawzall just to make the final little cut, and then on the inside I did have to trim some of the actual you know, a hood support off or bracing. There's a couple braces that I had to just finish the cut. It didn't quite go 100% through, but that's it. I mean, there's our hood, and I'm gonna pull all this off. And then also the instructions say if you want to help hide some of these inside cuts to spray a little bit of black paint on the inside seam right here. And that's what I'm going to do. But everything looks like it's going to turn out pretty good. And then also, that fit in there pretty good. So I'm going to leave the paint on, touch up the black inside corners with a little bit of black paint just so you don't see any kind of shiny cut marks in through the vents. And then when I get everything pulled off, we're gonna go ahead and drill out the 1/8 holes on the rivets. There was a hole on each corner on the template to actually pre-drill the holes, but I decided not to do that in case my cut was off just a little bit. I wanted to be able to center and correct if there was any kind of a movement on the stencil, or if there was just cockeyed. I would just be absolutely horrified if I had to look at that every day. So I left those holes open, and I'm gonna go ahead and tape down the actual hood louver before I drill the first pilot hole in one corner. I'll put the rivet in, and if I need to make any kind of fine-tuning adjustments, then I'll do the back corner hole. And then once I get that done, the rest are ready to drill and rivet, and we should be good to go. Okay, real quick too, is also you'll see these little raised tabs right here, kind of where that hood support be. Sometimes there's one or two. What the instructions say is to take like a little bit of hammer and to bang those flat. You want to be really careful not to get your paint though, because that would really suck. So I'm going to bang those a little bit flat, be real careful, and then also we'll go ahead and start the final install and get all the holes drilled and rivets laid. Okay guys, I'll show you what I did, how I was doing it. So they give you some long rivets, they give you some short rivets, and then they give you the washers to put underneath wherever you can. Some spots I could not get them all in there, so I just did them wherever I could. And what did I do was, so basically I got the first rivet in right here. I didn't pull it all the way, just enough to hold the washer in. That's why I didn't drill all 4 corners out, because now I can still move it a little left, move it a little right if it is off just a hair, and that way I can have 100% matching the other side. So I wanted a little bit of adjustment just in case my cut didn't come out 100% right. That's why I did it this way, and I do think it did turn out quite nice. Everything's exactly matched up. Looks good, the lines right where I want them to be. So now I'm gonna go ahead and finish. Once I get this rivet tight, make my final adjustments, I'll do the catty corner, and that's basically gonna lock it in so it can't move or wiggle. And then basically you just drill the rest out and put the rivets in, and you're done. So I'm not gonna bore you guys with all that. I'm gonna finish it up, and then we'll see what the final product looks like. Okay guys, here we are, the finished product. Man, I am pretty happy with how well this turned out. Just look how cool that is right there. And also, it is definitely gonna keep those under hood temps down while we're cruising with the AC on in the summer. Definitely gonna keep everything a lot cooler. And it just gives this car another level of attitude. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, let me know what you guys are working on. Let me know what you guys think of the build. I also got some really cool stuff planned for the channel. There's gonna be some stuff coming up, as well as some featured buddies, 3rd gens. We got a 3rd gen group going out here. We're gonna start featuring some of the fellow local 3rd gens cars and stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Peace.